Aftermath of the NFT bear market. We're picking up the pieces over here. We're going to explain what went on and what is going on now. As usual, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, subscribe to the podcast, all that good stuff. Buy our NFT. You already know. And as usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. We're definitely not financial advisors. The NFT space is insanely risky, as this week shows you. So always do your own research. Node, what's up, buddy?
Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, man. It was pretty brutal out there, and hopefully we're all doing well.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, everybody, everyone that is an active participant in the NFT space has like basically war stories at this point. I mean, Jesus, man, like it is gnarly. I have been directly scammed. Fortunately, the only time I got directly scammed was only like 0.4 Ethereum. I've been shilled bullshit that I then bought the top of and had to take a 50% loss. I have, basically just bought hard rug pulls that ultimately went to zero. There's been issues with projects that I had huge bags of that negatively impacted the price, like big news stories. And this week you went through one of those, which was the Azuki situation. You took it on the chin, you still made money, but now Azuki's trading at like 16 ETH. It's like doing pretty well. You told me off air a second ago, you know why. I'd love to know what you're thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, first like to congratulate myself for selling the Pico bottom. Is what it is. But look, for me, man, during that Twitter Spaces, obviously, like I don't think anybody thought that went well, right?
Right.
And it was, I definitely just wanted to. I saw the risk reward and thought, okay, I need to bounce. Um, but I do think I know the reason why this is turned around like so dramatically. And so I think number one part of it is Zagabond was forced to essentially do right by all those previous projects, right? So that is underway, even though it took him a long time. He didn't come out on Twitter Spaces and say he was sorry, but he after that tweeted out, said he messed up and did all that. So working on righting those wrongs. But the community, like from what I understand, like the Azuki community, they all wanted him around because he's done such a phenomenal job on Azuki, right? So
Right.
if you're able to set aside what he had done in the past, and say, okay, is he committed to this project? Is he going to screw us over? The community did not think so, and most people in the community totally stand behind Zagabond. I think at least like giving him a second chance, or if this is a third or fourth, whatever you want to call it, right? But I saw on Twitter today, like I think somebody nailed it. And this is why I cannot be an Azuki holder any longer. It's because Azuki is now like the bad boy of the NFT space. So they've now like, they've got like that vibe of like they're the bad boys in the NFT space. They're the villain, dude. And I think they ought to just lean into it. And I think it's great. Like I'm a family man. I as hard as I try, I'm not going to be that bad guy. So I got to find my other community. But I do. I think that's the reason.
Okay, fair. It stinks that this is the way you become like the bad boy. I'd rather like let's say Nick was like the CEO of one of these big projects and Nick's like ruffling everybody's feathers, like calling other people out and like not giving a shit. That's like a bad boy that I think would be funny. This guy was scamming. I mean, he was rug pulling, so it's just kind of like, all right, dude, like, whatever. But that is, I could buy into that theory a little bit, that they're, the kind of, wow, man, 238,000 Ethereum of volume traded on Azuki overall. That's pretty gnarly. Damn. And the beans went from 1 ETH to 2.5 ETH. Anybody that traded Azuki or beans from that Pico bottom to where it's at now has just like the most guts out of
Oh,
anybody. That, I mean, how do you buy that stuff when that's happening,
I literally was on the other side of that trade, right? Like I
Right.
sold mine at 10.6 or something. I honestly took an offer because I was so, like on looks rare. I was like, I just got to get this done while that Twitter Spaces was going.
Yeah.
So I mean, all those guys, whoever was on the other side of that trade, I think Keyboard Monkey who was like a like the apex of like a trader in terms of like day trading and doing fast trades. So I mean, man, those guys definitely had balls to pull that off, because I mean, the risk reward is, in my opinion, it was big, right? Like it was still at 10 ETH. And like 10 ETH for any project, almost nothing gets up there. If a project breaks 10 ETH and stays there, you're in, you know, basically the second tier of NFTs.
Yeah, for sure. And this thing was basically in the first tier of NFTs before this scandal, which is nuts. Or the top tier, I should say. This is Keyboard Monkey's vault on OpenSea.
There's the sweep. Look at that.
Well, no, this is him dumping.
Oh,
This
he
is
dumped. Okay, so he bought and he out traded himself then. That is so funny.
Yeah, it looks like he bought two at 12 and one at 9.5, and then just dumped. I guess he had a bunch more already from another wallet, and he just sold everything at 8 ETH. So look, kids.
Oh, that makes me feel better. He did the same thing I did. He also panic sold, you know?
It literally panic sold, just said, I'm out. I'm assuming he probably accumulated all these at 3 ETH or below, which all like the smart money. Like, what did you buy your Azuki for?
I bought mine at 5.
Okay.
I literally did not know about the project. Like I didn't know it was minting. Somehow I totally missed it. And I came across the project when it was at 3 or 4 ETH. And then a day later it was at 5. And I was like, no, this thing is an absolute vibe. I just gotta grab one.
Yeah.
And then there it went.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were like slightly later than you were basically 1 day later than like, you know, the drifts and the keyboard monkeys of the world that accumulated at 3 ETH, which is when like I saw so like that was like the number, like 3 ETH was the number that a lot of people accumulated at. I mean, so look, kids, even Keyboard Monkey, who's a monster name, like, you know, a smart money person, he dumped all of them at 8, and now they're 2x that. So he's probably like, fuck, you know, he's probably like, why did I do that? But it's like everybody, when you sold at 8, you assumed it was going to 4, you know, and it's like, that's how quickly things can drop so fast in this space. It actually makes me feel better, even though I had no exposure to Azuki, no exposure to Beans. I didn't participate at all. It makes me feel better just seeing that Keyboard Monkey is human and also sold the bottom, you know?
Yeah. Makes me feel much better about the last week and the last entire cycle. Let's be honest. All the mistakes that we've made, you know? Oh man, the stories we could tell.
Yeah, so I mean, look, Azuki's the #1 for volume over the past 24 hours, which is just gnarly. It's pretty insane. Other Deed by other side is up above 3 ETH again, floor price. Bored Ape Yacht Club closing in on 100 ETH. Mutants north of 20. Beans back up over 2. Man, you could have 2x'd off of Beans in the past 48 hours, really closer to 24 hours. PXN still yet to reveal, I believe. Yes, still yet to reveal, pushing 4 again. Moonbirds at 23. A lot of action in the NFT space right now. Doodles at 14, despite making that monster move last time that we were on the show to, I believe, above 20. Is this a dead cat bounce, Node?
Oh man. Yeah, well, all we know is on the last, when we were on the show, I delisted my doodle because I thought it was going to 30, and then that turned out to be the Pico top. So I totally messed up that trade. I wasn't actually trying to sell my doodle. I was just farming the looks rare rewards. But
yeah,
man, it was at 25, 26 right when we were on air. I actually think, you know, everything I'm hearing and reading about doodles, I'm pretty bullish. I'm excited. I just claimed my Dooplicator, which has some interesting potential there. So I don't know if it's a dead cat bounce. I think we talked about this on the show today, that it's just a lot of fun, right? Like NFTs are way more fun. So if you're going to be in a bear market, you may as well trade these JPEGs and be part of these communities instead of holding, you know, some kind of regular coin that's boring, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, since we're talking about having fun, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up this project, which is CryptoBurbs, which people in our Discord have been on for what seems like literally months. I think that this started in March, and 2 people, specifically Swine Flu and Popcan, two mods from our Discord, have been long CryptoBurbs for a while. They have like big bags of burbs. Then, you know, guys like Eric and some of the other like staff members and mods started buying in. And I bought one earlier this week, and then bought 3 more last night on my personal wallet and 3 on the company wallet. I just like the traits. Like, so they took the CryptoPunk head, they put a beak on it, so that's what makes it a burb. But then all the traits are fire, and they like reference other NFT projects. This one has the pizza on its head. It's just good. It's high effort. I was like DMing with the artist. He was like, yeah, we put a lot of love into it. I was like, yeah, I can tell, you know, it's obvious. And it's just fun, you know? And then we talked about it on the morning show. People started DMing me like, is this going to be a good investment? I'm like, dude, do not DM me and ask me if a pixelated bird is a good investment. Like, this is about having fun. NFTs are supposed to be fun at the end of the day. When people bought Bored Ape Yacht Club a year ago, it was actually, and I'm not comparing this to Bored Ape Yacht Club, ladies and gentlemen, okay? That's not what I'm saying. Don't read between the lines on that. But Bored Ape Yacht Club came out right as crypto was crashing and right as the Nifty Gateway bubble had horrendously burst. And, you know, famously or not famously, that's why I didn't buy, because I just gotten so wrecked on Nifty Gateway. But it was like fun. People were minting it. They're like, wow, what a cool ape. I'm an ape. You're an ape. Let's make ape noises in the Discord, the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was fun. And that's why people did it. And they went back and they minted more apes. And it was just a cool thing to do. Same thing with these birds and burbs, I should say. And it was actually really refreshing for me to see like a return to that in the NFT space. It was one of the better signals, especially coming off of the yet another rug and yet another blue chip falling from grace that we saw earlier in the week.
Yeah, I need to get mine. You know, what was the mint price for these
It's
guys?
0.04, so it's at mint right now.
So it's at mint. Hey, I can still get in. I haven't. At least I know I haven't bought the top, unless 0.041 is the top. That
Which
might
it could be,
it.
dude.
It very well could be. But you know, you were chatting about the apes, and I just thought, you know, I didn't mint any of the apes for the opposite reason, because I thought I had just bought my punk. And I was
You bought your punk that early.
I bought my punk in March of last year.
Nice.
So yeah, March or April. But yeah,
8
it was
ETH, 9 ETH.
No, it was 24. So I basically went all in with that, and I got a ringer and a punk in the very beginning. My ringer was for 4 ETH. That was a much better buy, but I kind of thought, like, look how dumb those things are. You know what I mean? Like, and back then, if you tried to look at the apes as an investment, I mean, nobody did that. Absolutely nobody. And I don't believe anybody that says they did, if they minted an ape and thought they were going to crush it. Like, there was just no way you could have known. But you did know that you would have had fun, right? If you paid attention to the community early on, which I totally screwed. I did not pay attention to the community. And I remember watching those things, you know, holding my Meebit and thinking, there's no way that apes are going to flip Meebits. Like, you know, they're not Larva Labs, you know? And oh man, like, so many regrets, you know? But yeah.
There was elitism from the CryptoPunks community, which you were a part of.
And I clearly was. I felt like, hey, this is the one true project, you know what I mean? And it was I still think that punks are the one OG kind of collectible art, you know, PFP project that inspired all the rest. I fully believe that. But, you know, making room for this idea that you could create a community around it, you know, like that's and have fun with stuff that little did we know that Bored Apes was just the beginning, you know. And man, I wish I had made that switch in my brain earlier, for sure.
We can't live in the past, Node. We
cannot. We're only going to move forward in the future as we stare at a punk right now.
But I agree with you on the punks. That we've gotten, like, I've developed more clarity surrounding punks recently, because I agree with you. And I think that Yuga Labs talking about Meebits and not punks is also indicative that they also just believe that punks are history, you know?
Yeah.
Good to go. Like, you don't have to do anything. Like, no one asks what the utility is of a Picasso painting, or, like, you know, no one asks like what's next for Picasso. It's like, it's done. Legacy is confirmed. History, like, value forever. There will be ups and downs, but you got to think that the value just grows as time goes on. So that's so shout out to you for having a punk. What punk do you have? What's your punk's number?
2971. It's currently deposited in the JPEG 69 protocol. I think I told you about that.
This is you?
Getting interest. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it right there. Beautiful, beautiful guy. Oh man, there he is. I hope I've in a moment of panic twice. I've listed my punk twice over the last year, and I freaked out both times and delisted. Couldn't do it,
Yeah.
just couldn't let him go. So
I mean,
it is what it is.
good move, right? Like we can't see the prices on here. It's so weird and not that cool in my opinion. But do you know what the floor is on punks right now?
It's like 50 ETH, I think, right around 50. It actually, the 48.85 is what one of the bots is telling me. So it's like almost exactly 100K. That was Nick's price target initially. Now he's revising it down lower. He's like, oh, I want one for 50K, 75K. It's like I've done this before as well, right? Where you think you can get one lower and lower. At some point there's going to be a bottom, but.
Yeah, I mean, he also lit 10 grand on fire the other day with a Coda trade, so that was a good one. But like looking at the action right now, I mean, what are you going to buy? My thing is like, well, ApeCoin is doing this weird stuff where it drops down to $5, then shoots up to $9. Then you just have no idea which direction it's going. And that's one way to kind of dollar cost average into the NFT space. But other than that, it's like, what do you want to buy for less than 3 ETH? Like, I want to buy other side deeds at 3 ETH, I guess, although I think that they can go lower. My guy Easy is talking about buying them at 1 ETH. I think is his target for other side deeds. And I look around, it's like, what do you really want to buy? I still need to do the research. We talked about it last time in a something token, just because of like Alexis Ohanian and everything. But I mean, what are you looking at in this market? CloneX to me, I need to get exposure to that. Do you have any artifact, any CloneX? Well, you don't. Okay.
No.
I'm surprised. No,
Yeah,
surprised.
I know that one. I was driving back from California. My wife was driving. I had my ledger like plugged into my laptop in the passenger seat, hotspotting, ready to mint those suckers. And I don't know. I just messed it up. Couldn't do it. I was like 3 ETH. Like this is not like a good, like that's a high price point to start. And I was freaking out. And so I prefer to just bury my head in the sand when it comes to anything CloneX. I'm just afraid. But I think I tweeted this out earlier today. If you gave me, the problem is you got to give me like 25 ETH. But I'm like, look, if you give me 25 ETH, there's several projects I'm interested in, right? I'm interested in another Moonbird. I'm interested in CloneX. I'm interested in Doodles. I'm interested in another mutant. I'm interested in the portal. In
That's
many
the
portals,
cheapest project.
many portals. Yeah, no, a sweep. I will probably sweep again. And I'm interested in maybe some more Adidas. Like that is the one that to me feels like a little bit like the X factor that could come out and do something, right? Like, I don't know. It's only 1.4. They're going to do something with this. I mean, it would make sense for them to drop a PFP. It would make sense for them to do something. And if Adidas is half decent as Nike is, then this might be an interesting play.
I can't believe how well this thing is holding. There's there's 30,000 of them. 30,000.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that many. Yeah. That's that would make sense as to why the price hasn't gone crazy either. But it also, it offers up a little. There's something out there that could happen. So I like, Adidas, Pixel Vault as well. They came out with their announcements and everything, but.
I can't believe how well this thing is done. It's unbelievable. I just sold this immediately after buying it like a complete idiot because I thought it was going to go way down. I never saw that this thing was going to rip to, I think the high was over 2 Ethereum, I believe, during like peak bull season, over 2 Ethereum floor. This is just like insane to me that it's valued this high. But then again, it's Adidas. But at the same time, it's like, the other fashion brands haven't been doing that well. 10KTF, Gucci apes and whatnot were doing okay. I want to talk to you about what your thoughts are on Doodles. You're a Doodles holder. They did their airdrop, or they're doing it. Is it Duplicopters or here it is, Duplicator.
Duplicator. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, and these things were, I think they were sub 3 ETH like yesterday or earlier today. So they're pumping right now. And so yeah, this is interesting, right? Like there's speculation. I think if I remember right, like the founder has mentioned this can be useful with or without a doodle. And then
Oh,
there's more speculation to the fact that some people think that this might allow you to create, it might allow you to create something with your doodle, which you could then receive royalties from if there's sales from it. Which that whole concept actually kind of is super interesting to me. Like having not the royalties only flow back to the creator, but to holders themselves could have an opportunity. I think that's super interesting. And obviously an interesting experiment. Who knows what exactly will come of this, but they're supposed to have their roadmap is days away, not according to them, not weeks away or anything. So the interesting thing about these though, the duplicators, I believe they don't fully reveal until June 23rd. So I mean, we're like a month plus away from these revealing. And it mentioned, if I remember right, it mentions like they will be revealed with rarities, etc. So it's like they're not all necessarily the same, which is also interesting. So
they never mess up the art. I mean, look at how good the art is on this. Burnt Toast is a monster, man.
yeah.
Even with moving art, like look at the shadow. Just everything is perfect with this. Man, doodles, don't fade the doodles. This is very, very interesting. Can't wait to see the roadmap. I'm not in the doodles ecosystem. Obviously wish I was. Hesitated when it was 0.8, hesitated when it was 1.2. Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, let's be real. Speaking of moving PFPs, I don't think I've ever gotten your take on this guy, which I did mint and sold. A rare sale by me, sold it for 9 Ethereum, I believe, 8.88 Ethereum. Sold it a little too late, but not mad about that because the first sales came in at like 11, 12, 13 Ethereum. Could have gotten some for 10. I managed to get rid of it for 8.8. Floor is steadily going down realistically because of no news events. Have to think that the team is building. They made a lot of money on secondary royalties. They made sizable amounts of money with the mint too. Coinbilly, shout out Coinbilly, is the community manager, I believe, or a title similar over at in the Random Character Collective. He comes from the Nifty Discord, really good guy. What do you think of this? I have to think things are brewing in the background here, and at a floor of 4.47, it's starting to get spicy.
Yeah, they announced a collab or partnership with Kith this
Yep.
week, which I think was a big deal.
I thought that was already out, though. I thought that
Maybe
like,
or maybe yeah, maybe it was older, and I'm
yeah,
just hearing about it this week. That could very well be the case.
yeah.
I never like these. Just I not a vibe for me. Like when I saw them, like I honestly I wasn't familiar with the artist either. I begged there were several people in kind of a local Discord group in Utah that I'm in, like several people that had these, and I begged every single one of them to sell at 13 ETH. I was like, that was the clearest trade I've ever seen, because nothing has held over, like up until that point, nothing at all had held over a 10 ETH floor right out the gate, and it just was painfully obvious to me that these things were gonna dip. So now they're settled in at 4. They seem to have kind of settled in at a floor. Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go. I feel like I can't have an opinion on them because I've kind of been bearish on them from day one, because I don't think they make great PFPs, and like as great as the art is kind of cool. Like I'm struggling to just vibe with it, right? Or feel like I could be part of it. So yeah, I don't know that I could give a fair take on the old IF.
Yeah, and I just accidentally clicked out of it. They like at the end of the day, it was like I don't know why every time, by the way, I open up OpenSea, like you'll see here, and people haven't really noticed. For some reason, every time I open up OpenSea in this browser, it's Pixelmon. I don't know if I really
You're
don't
keeping
get
an
it.
eye
Like,
on it. This is like your number one project right there. How it's still at a 0.3 ETH floor is beyond me. But
it pumped apparently in the past, like the volume was legit. It's so strange. Like this is the ultimate troll, is that when I type in OPE in the browser and click enter, the project that comes up is Pixelmon. But look, with Invisible Friends, I mean, I don't know why it was the most hyped up drop of all time at that time, because It really, really was. You know, people that I worked with at my day job at the time were asking me about Invisible Friends. Everybody knew Invisible Friends. So there was some kind of mainstream appeal. There was, I think it had to do with like the Instagram crowd, because I think Motion Marcus is really big on Instagram and it got a big push on Instagram. But I mean, how many Instagram people came through and bought it for between 8 and 12 ETH on the secondary? You know what I mean? Kind of gnarly.
That would make no sense.
What else are you looking at right now, man? And what else do you make of the market? Like, it has been a strange week. It's hard to be optimistic. I mean, Kix brought up a great point, which is that the broader crypto market wasn't that concerned with the collapse of Luna, which I thought was interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, you look at what happened with the broader markets. I mean, they all got smoked, right? Like they got absolutely demolished. Glad that things, I mean, so far haven't spiraled worse because of, you know, the contagion effects from Luna and Terra and all that stuff. But I do kind of like the fact that a lot of NFTs, like, since most of us don't really think of our NFTs in terms of USD, like, this is great. Like, if ETH prices aren't if our NFT hasn't gone down too much in ETH terms, like, we're still feeling okay. Like, and I don't know why, right? It's because it's like I'm looking at my portfolio and I say, oh, I've still got an okay amount of ETH. I'm okay. But when I look at my, my crypto portfolio and I look at like the dollar amount that's right there in CoinGecko, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have lost so much money. I've screwed up so many things, but hey, all first cycle, like main mega first cycle learnings, right? You do everything wrong and then next cycle we're going to make it. So that's the goal right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I also don't totally buy in, and I've gone on record, and as soon as I say this, everybody just pours into the comments, pours into the Discord and writes hopium 1 bajillion times. You're basically not allowed to like have any sort of positive outlook. And we have a special guest crashing the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually pretty fun that this is happening, but let me just pull up a little project here because we have a special guest crashing the show. But real quick, what I was saying is that like external news events can impact the cycle. You know what I mean? Because if we really bought into the cycle big time, then Bitcoin would have hit like $100,000+ already if we bought into the cycle all the way. So the cycle's a little bit out the window at this point. And if you listen to like Willy Woo and Plan B and Will Clemente, who are the Bitcoin on-chain analysts extraordinaires, right? The kind of biggest names, they talk about this thesis that the cycle is less and less relevant because the amount of Bitcoin before and after the halving that's getting, awarded to miners, the difference is becoming negligible. Like, there's a big difference between 50 and 25 Bitcoin, but is there that much difference between 0.5 and 0.25 Bitcoin? So that cycle gets less and less relevant. And plus, if everybody's going to buy into the cycle's over thing, that means that they're all going to get wrecked. Like, every time everybody goes and does one thing, you get wrecked. When Bitcoin was 80K, everyone was like, it's going to 200K. You just get wrecked, So I wanted to point that out. But we got Coinbilly.
Yo.
So Coinbilly, what's up?
What's up?
You've never been on the YouTube show before. You are, I guess, not doxxed technically, so you're not showing your face, buddy. But you've been on the you've been on the Twitter show. You've been in Discord, obviously. You are Mr. Invisible Friends. Obviously second to Motion Marcus. So are you here to check us on our Invisible Friends opinions?
So there was actually just some big news the other day regarding the whole Kith collaboration, and it's like something so different, and I think because it's so different, it's like sort of going over people's heads a little bit. But if I just sent the link to the chat, but if you go to our website, there's a sort of Kith tab on it describing the collaboration we're doing. And to give the rundown is basically the Invisible Friends are actually going to be showcasing the summer 2022 collection for Kith. And basically the Invisible Friends are going to be the lookbook for their summer collection. And these one-of-ones that you're looking at are like Kith clothing that they haven't revealed yet to their community. And sort of these pieces are going to be auctioned off, one of them for charity and the others just public auction, and the winner of the auctions actually get the full fit that you see there. So for that one you're looking at now, the New York one, those are wearing, if anyone knows, it's the Ronnie Fike salmon toe Asics, which, resell for like $5,000 on secondary markets and stuff. And if you go to like the golf one, the tailor-made golf one, you actually get a full like tailor-made Kith golf set. It's the fourth one on the carousel. And you get the driver, the iron set, the putter, you get the full fit that you see there. It's the Adidas Samba Kith golf cleats, and everyone, we're revealing another one a day. And basically we're going to be their lookbook, and it's going to be all over their stuff, and email blasts out to their community, and the auctions are going to go nuts next week. And then if you scroll down, we're actually doing this thing for our holders where it's sort of like a special edition Kith friend that's actually dressed in Kith Invisible Friends merchandise. We're going to reveal that soon. So all holders of Invisible Friends get to mint one of these. And then when the merchandise is ready, I think February 2023, that's just how long they take. This will be like a free claim to that full set of merchandise that we're going to basically, it's like shoes, a varsity jacket, a sweatshirt, hat, all that, just Kith Invisible Friends branded. And that's exclusive to this drop. And yeah, along with that, these sort of special edition friends evolve to showcase different Kith product that these holders get early access to. So, Kith stuff that sells out quickly, that resells on the market, the holders of these Kith friends will sort of get that access. So, this is just a really cool thing we just announced. Yeah.
Very cool stuff, man. Look, if we believe in fashion and that this is, fashion at its breakout in the NFT space this year, which not that many people saw coming, this is definitely relevant. What if you're a lefty? Do you get lefty clubs for that tailor-made setup right there? What do you think of that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, they're selling all this stuff that you're seeing on these. They're selling in their summer 2022 collection. So, yeah, I mean, whatever size you are, whatever righty, lefty, you're just gonna get the product if you win the auction. So it's really fire.
Any way you spin it, it's super interesting. This is a medium for a prominent clothing brand to release collections, in collaboration with an NFT. I would not be surprised if this keeps happening. Is that extra one that you pay $1,000 for? Is that effectively a companion drop for Invisible Friends? Is that going to expand the Invisible Friends? Is that like World of Women Galaxy, but for Invisible Friends?
So I mean, it's holders only. So there's no,
right.
And there's also no added benefit to the Invisible Friends, let's say for Garbage Friends that Marcus is working on. There's no added benefit to these Kith holders for that drop. But I guess you could call it a companion drop because there's another basically world of hype beasts and people that love Kith that sort of are gonna want into this drop.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, man. Yeah, Node, you got any more shade to throw?
No, I was just gonna say, I love this. I love the concept because it fits, right? No pun intended. It fits perfectly. You know what I mean? It's a direct application, something I literally never would have thought that, I did not even think about that idea, and it fits perfectly. I love the concept that they are using, the Invisible Friends to showcase their stuff. I think it's awesome, man. So props.
Yeah, it's dope. Thank you, man. We've been working on it for a while, keeping it low key, just because we're working with a company like that. You sort of have to go according to their rules in a way. So, we've just been keeping it low key, and
I'm sure they're not going to let you move at Web3 speed. That's never going to happen. So Coinbilly, what else you seeing in this market, man? I know you own a bunch of Invisible Friends. What else? Are you buying anything else, or what do you think about what's going on?
It's tough, man. I mean, last week I did buy some ape. I mean, not even last week, 2 days ago. Yeah, I bought some ape coin. Just because I saw it was low and I know they're gonna use it for their metaverse. Anyone that's raising $500 million to build out a metaverse, they're gonna do something with it. So I'm definitely gonna look into tap into other side in some way. I don't know if I'm gonna get any of the other three, the apes, mutants, or kennels, but who knows? Other than that, I don't know, man. Everything just doesn't make sense right now. you know, with it just really doesn't make sense. But I've just been keeping an eye out. I have 2 doodles, so I'm gonna claim my duplicator stuff. I didn't do that yet, so I got to do that. Um, yeah, no, I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited for New York in June, where people showcase some stuff. I'm excited, um, you know, just to see where the sort of NFT world goes. I feel like people aren't minting like shitty projects anymore because they sort of know better and they don't want to waste their money. So um, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at.
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, thanks for crashing the show. Didn't expect this. That was funny. I saw you in the Discord posting. I clearly the coin signal, the Coinbilly signal went off in the sky when we started talking about Invisible Friends, and appreciate you giving us a live update from the inside. Dude, pop on the Twitter Spaces sometime, and I'm moving back to New York next month. You, me, and Nick got to go out to dinner, man.
100%. Hit me up when you do.
Absolutely, bro.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Great kicking it, man. See ya. Well, now that Node's show has been crashed by Coinbilly, I see Node just being like, yo, what's up with my airtime, MFer? No, I'm just kidding.
That was great, man. And yeah, the chat's lighting me up, being like, hey, he's changing his tune. All I said, hey, look, man, I was like, I don't know enough about the project, so don't, I just wasn't vibing with it. And but I like what they are doing there, right? Like I like as an application, I think that's great. So
Yeah.
they're definitely nailed the partnership. I love that idea. I love the concept. Still doesn't mean that I'm like, that I'm all in on Invisible Friends, but I think what they're doing is awesome. So
yeah, we can wrap on this. People are spraying me about talking about VaynerSports in the Discord. I mean, look, so I think everyone might know I have and my cost basis is probably close to 2x, maybe a little bit under 2x what they're at now. So I'm totally underwater on them. Not worried about it in fact, definitely could see myself adding here at 0.175. Like if I'm going to buy something under 0.2 that's not our NFT, the portal, then I would buy, I think this something token, which is what I brought up, but I have not decided if I'm going to buy it yet. I need to do research into it. But you're betting on AJ Vaynerchuk here. Like, what do you think? It's just going to go to zero. It's not going to go to zero. So like,
yeah, I mean, I gotta be.
Oh yeah,
I guess,
you work with.
I gotta be kind of careful. Yeah, I do. I do a little bit of. I do a little bit of work with those guys, and I'm just kind of helping out when they need it. But I love AJ. I love everything that he's about. Like having been able to sit in meetings with him and seeing what they're up to. He's in this forever, right? He's in this to build this for the long term. Everything's so hard in the NFT space because everybody wants. What is it that people want? Like, what is it that you're expecting? And I think it's, he's first going after this as a very much utility play. Like he's been very clear, felt like from the beginning, like with the cadence calendar and saying like, look, we are going to try and kind of converge the sports world, and we're going to give you better access to our athletes, and like, and then, we're going to do a bunch of other cool stuff, and we're going to try and build this thing long term. But it would be almost funny to try and say like, hey, here's the roadmap for the VaynerSports Pass, because they're not trying to be like Doodles. You know what I mean? Like that's not. So you don't put a roadmap for, it's like he's going to continue to deliver consistently on the stuff that he's going to promise. And look, if you're not into sports and you're not into like the utility, right, that they're talking about, then don't own it, right? But if you do think, hey, this will be fun, and he's going to expand it, which I 100% believe he will do that. This is definitely a great buy in my opinion, just because it's one of the few things you can get for sub 0.2, where the founder and that they're reputable and what they're trying to build. So again, obviously my biased take, but yeah, I think it's an awesome project, and it had some interesting hiccups in the beginning, right? Just because Micah Johnson's stuff went, the whole, what was it, 34 million contract, disappeared, which delayed the mint that they were supposed to do with him, which is no fault of AJ's, right? And like again, that's still gonna come, right? So lots of stuff to look forward to, I think, with VSP and with the portal as well. Like those two projects under 0.2, I'm like, dude, I'm getting out the genie soon. Gonna start sweeping.
Well, look at that. That's awesome to hear. And I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about floor price. Don't tell Nick that I'm talking about floor price. But you know, the CRs hold up in this bear market is very awesome for me to see. So shout out to all you holders out there and the people buying. You know, with VSP, well, so JC in our chat is asking me about book games, right? And he's like, "Are you buying book games right now because they're so cheap?" I would love to buy book games if I had like infinite Ethereum right now. Right. And so I've learned to like keep dry powder on the side. If I could dollar cost average in a book game, like if Gary Vee had a token, like if there was a token for Gary Vee, then I would just dollar cost average that token. That's what I'm doing with ApeCoin right now, right? That's
Yeah.
how I buy stocks. I buy like $40 a Tesla stock every day, or 5 days a week, I guess, because the stock market isn't 24/7. If I could do that, I would like 1,000% do that with book games right now, because book games like that long-term investment, right? It could go down from here, but you have to think long-term, especially with the burn mechanic. The fact that he said book games are meant to be played forever. I think he also specifically said that they have big plans for book games in 6 years, which is like the funniest thing that anybody in the NFT space has ever said. It's like the ultimate
He
Gary
did that on
troll.
purpose. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? And you know, 6 years from now, there is going to be some big plan, which is hilarious, you know? But I don't have infinite money, unfortunately, not yet. And so I can't dollar cost average like that. Look, if he puts out a token, if there's the V coin, let's go. I'll be all over it. Cause then I like buying like $10 of something every day. Like if you look at my Robinhood account, it's like $40 a Tesla a day. I don't know. Like I just started a Coinbase one today because I'm like, bro, Coinbase, like the market cap of Coinbase is down like 75% or something in this dump. And it's like, I mean, I'm in crypto. Why wouldn't I want to buy it? Let me put it to you this way. It's better to buy Coinbase stock than to buy that stupid GBTC product that Grayscale puts out,
Oh
where
yeah.
Bitcoin goes up, but GBTC goes down. It's the dumbest thing of all time. So then when you buy the Coinbase stock, you have money that a bank actually recognizes. Because if I go to get pre-approved for a home right now, they're going to look at my NFTs and my crypto, like my Bitcoin and Ethereum and ApeCoin and whatever the hell else I have, and they're going to be like, so that's just not money. It's just not a thing. They're going to look at my GUSD that's yielding 7% yield, and they're going to say, so that's also just not money. I'm going to have to move that into a bank account. I understand not recognizing NFTs as having value because they can just dry up like that. But I'm like, bro, like the Bitcoin isn't, it's just nothing. It has no worth. So you can get exposure to crypto with traditional finance recognized assets if you buy Coinbase. I just went on like a stock market rant, but yeah.
There it is. Hey, look, if you think crypto is going to be around, like Coinbase is a great option, right? Like if they're going to keep trading, Coinbase is definitely at a discount. That is for sure. But I like your idea of dollar cost averaging. And when I talk about it, I'm like, look, I'm just going to DCA into ETH, right? Like,
Yeah.
keep stacking ETH, and that way, when you're ready and you want to make moves in the NFT market, that's what you should do, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. I'm just going to buy a little bit of ETH each week, and then figure out what I want to do in terms of buying NFTs. I screwed up the book games. Well, I didn't totally screw it up. I got 5. You're supposed to get like 5 of a frame, right, in order to try and qualify for the new character or whatever.
Yes.
And so I thought I had 5 marble frames and 5 granite frames. I did all of my buying to make sure I had that. And then when it came the day where the snapshot was taken, I went to like go enter the raffle for my marbles, and it turns out I only had 4, and I just forgot. I don't know what the F I was thinking. So I screwed up the 4. And so I have 4 marble frames sitting there doing nothing. And then I got my 5 granite frames, and I entered the raffle, and I didn't win. So it's like I've got like 10, 9 book games just sitting there. I'm just gonna hold and see what the next thing is, right? Like they're gonna dip, and now is probably as good a time as any. I maybe dollar cost average and buy one of those at a time, like once a week, because when nobody's paying attention, when nobody's paying attention, that's the time to buy, right? So when nobody thinks, they think, oh, nothing's coming down the line, like, that's the point when you want to start buying, right? If you still think there's a future there. And Gary's said it many times. Like that's the tagline of the game, right? It's book games are forever. So, you know, you got to think. I don't actually know what their price is now.
JC said 0.11 floor, which
Okay,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
It's
So
actually not a bad floor considering
it's
the
not that bad.
amount of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were double last week. So I'm down a little bit there, but that's the problem, right? Is like, oh, the utility for the perceived utility has passed, right? As these new characters are coming out and people are saying, well, now what good is my marble frame? It's like, well, dude, yeah, wait, and if you can be like even have an ounce of patience in another 6 months, there's gonna be something, right?
Yeah, exactly. And just to kind of close on that, you know, I want to have Maddie DCL Blogger, who's a seed investor in the Nifty portal. So thank you for your
Oh, is
investment,
he?
Matt.
Nice.
You already know, man. Yeah, like we closed a round of funding in November of last year and didn't tell anybody about it. Like we basically just forgot to like announce it. And then I made reference to it in one tweet like a week ago, and people were like going nuts, being like, "Oh my god, congrats!" It's like, dude, that was back in November. Like we've been had financing.
People weren't paying attention to you back in November, man. That's the thing. You're bigger now. You know, you've got a lot of new customers, new listeners. So
It's true. It's true. And anyway, Maddie, you know, he started in the bear market and he bought a bunch of Decentraland land that whole time. And it made him rich, you know, and it put him in the spot that he's in today. So you want to buy when no one else is looking. People are asking me to pull up this tweet. I don't know if anybody saw this. No, do you want to read this tweet?
Oh, here it goes. Best podcast title for today. Please vote. Number 1, behind Madonna's vagina, inside Madonna's vagina. Warning, NFT bull trap. Madonna births trees. Oh man, yeah. If you haven't seen Madonna's NFT, that's why we're talking about vaginas. Man, no. Oh, you're gonna make them. Are we allowed to even show this? Are you gonna get banned? Man, this is intense. My goodness, I actually did. I showed this to my wife. I was like, you got to see this thing, you know? She was like, this is indeed interesting. No
Well, it's
doubt.
Madonna, man. This is like the thing that Nick said right away is like, this is like exactly what you would expect from Madonna.
It's what she wants. Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly what she wants. I mean, the fact that it was a real 3D model is what the rumor is, right? Like that is a little bit crazy. Is like, was Beeple the one that made the 3D model? Like, did he have to? I don't know. I don't want to think too much about it. But she definitely, you know, I think she achieved her goals with this piece. Let's just put it that way.
I think she did too. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome for showing you this message on screen. You're welcome. Okay. You needed this. No need to thank me. You're welcome. Node, always a pleasure, buddy. Great show. Everybody follow Node at Depeche Node _ on Twitter. You can also hear him speaking on our morning show. What seems like every day. I think it is every day. He's Mr. Consistent.
I have not missed a day since I started. So, you know, we'll see when that streak ends. But for now, I am Mr. Consistent, baby. Let's do this.
That's like John Stockton, man. Utah reference,
dude,
you know?
Amen. May you know, may that version of the Jazz rest in peace. You know, we got issues, but
most assists, most steals. And Pranav just asked if you're coming to the Nifty meetup, you know, our event in June. Of course you are, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'll be there. I'm going. Yeah. Wherever Nifty goes, I go. I'm going to be at VCon. I'm going to be at NFT NYC. I'm hoping I get a couple airdrops in between so I can afford it. So that'll be the goal. But I'll be there. Yeah, for sure. Flights are booked. So.
Nice. Carolina Milan, who comes on our show sometimes, just said, damn, I'm late. She's just getting here. She just sees me and Node on the right side of the screen and Madonna with a tree growing out of her on the left side. Funny time to walk in on the stream. We will catch you guys next.